What it's like, man. What it's like to be in somebody's mind. How many times do you think you look at people and you say, man, that's a weird dude, man. That's a weird person. Or you don't understand why sometimes you fighting. Sometimes they're fighting. You know, you go through life and every single person you meet, it's a different kind of person. What they got going on is not what you might have going on, and vice versa. So in my mind, man, I like to give you guys a rundown on how it works. You know, I talk about mental health a lot. I'm a super big supporter of it, man. You know, from my own experiences, from things I've lost in life, people I've lost in life, you know, going into solitude, isolation, isolating myself from people, staying away from people, just, you know, going all sorts of life from being the people person that was around everybody all the time to now I'm not, you know. I stay away from that stuff. I stay away from a majority of people, man. You know, I believe that everybody I was talking to were somebody that you had to have in your life. That communication with all these people is what life was about, right? And you set yourself up. So in my mind, through a day, or let's say in an hour, I'm going to show you guys, or at least have you have an understanding that my mind races 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if I don't keep it under control. And sometimes I gotta really sit there and say to myself, okay, I can feel like I'm going that way. I can feel like I'm starting to have racing thoughts. I can tell that I'm starting to get trapped by the weight of my thoughts, because a lot of people think, man, you just boom, 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 100 miles an hour. Nah, see, because as you're doing it, your brain starts compiling all the stuff you're thinking about, puts it on your shoulders. Because some of those things that you're thinking about, some of those things that go through your mind could be things that you put on you as a responsibility, things that you think are responsibility, things that you think are things that you need to do, things that you think that you need to get done, whatever, man. And, you know, recently, you know, from talking to my therapist and, you know, kind of really investigating myself and being more open about myself, being more open about what goes on in my mind, my emotions, my feelings. You know, I haven't been on here for a little bit because I was kind of going through just a little bit of a downtime, right? A little bit, not crazy long, but it's there, you know? And then all of a sudden you have an uptick, and all of a sudden your uptick is all over the place. Well, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to go over here. I got to meet with this person. I got to do this. I got to save for this. I got to do this. I got to go get a job here. I got to go look for this job. I got to pick up a shift here. Got to do this, do that, do that, that. It's like fucking Busta Rhymes in your brain. 100 miles an hour. That's what it feels like. And that's real shit, man. A lot of people don't realize that that's really how it is all the time. You know, but if you're going through, let's say, a hard physical thing, you put yourself in the gym super hard for a sport. You're an athlete. You have a job that is significantly mentally challenging. A lot of the time, if you put forth 100% of your effort into those, you don't realize, man, what's really going on? You don't realize how your brain is. You don't see it. You don't feel it, right? Because what happens is you're kind of cramming it all down by everything being such a high-powered, high-strength thing. It pushes it down. So inadvertently, you don't realize and don't understand that it's going to catch up, you know? Or if something big happens, an injury or whatever, and all of a sudden you can't do that. All of a sudden you can't work out. So now all that huge physical abuse that you've been putting on yourself, you can't do anymore. Now what do? Now you got the thoughts. Now you realize that it's racing. Then you get down. Classic signs, man. Classic signs of some sort of bipolar disorder. Yeah? Some of y'all probably think it sounds familiar, and that's all right. It's not about the title you put on it. It's not about saying, wow, man, damn, man, I got a bipolar. Bro, it happens. You know, you get down in the winter, you have ups and downs, they don't last super long. Probably a bipolar, man. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Don't get upset about it. Understand that now you can look at yourself And you can say, okay, cool, now I understand. Because once you understand what the hell is going on and you've figured out the signs of what's going on, you've figured out what's made you worse on some days, or you can feel that over a couple of days you start, or you got to realize, okay, cool, yeah, let me settle down. Let me sit for a minute. Let me think about this for a minute. What is triggering it? What could make it better? Think about that. That's what you need to do. And if you do that, you can set yourself up, man. You can set yourself up for doing better, being better. Remember, in my mind, everything is all the time going at 100 miles an hour, right? So sometimes, medications can help that. Sometimes you may not want that. Sometimes you might just want to be able to change a behavior. Some behaviors trigger it. But if you sit down and you have to sit with your thoughts with nothing to do, that is a time that's tough, right? That's a time that is tough. And I think a lot of the time, man, you could go either way on this. If you read online or you watch videos, people will be like, oh man, it don't matter. That's the best time when you can fight the demons, yada, yada, yada. While I don't disagree with the idea that you need to be stronger, I do understand that sometimes you're at the pinnacle of yourself. You're at the peak of what you can do mentally by yourself. And you need a little bit of help. Okay. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think sitting here and saying to yourself, well, hell, I don't know. This sucks. I lost. I failed. No, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to deal with that shit. Cool. But you know what comes after that? You know that when you do that, after whatever amount of time you start to degrade out, you realize that people around you don't want to be around you. You realize that you don't even want to be around yourself. So sometimes you need help with it, right? But in your mind, you're saying to yourself, I'm stronger, I'm better, I can do this. I can do this, and this, and I'm doing this and this and this. All you're doing, literally, slowly but surely, is you're replacing everything that you shouldn't do to try to get rid of something that you need to get rid of. You need help to create a better path, and you're out here, 100 different ways. Not going to find yourself. You're going to find yourself getting lost. You're going to figure out that, man, that's not going to get me there. So there's times where you're struggling, man. And there's times where those emotions come out as things that you maybe didn't mean for them to be. Yeah? Yeah. You didn't mean to yell. You didn't mean to get mad. You didn't mean to get upset. You didn't mean to cry. But man, you overwhelmed. It's all right to be that. It's all right to be overwhelmed. It's all right to feel a certain way. Bro, I don't care what anybody says, man. I mean, you really pay attention to the strongest people, mentally. Man, they all needed something. They all needed help to get there. If you like them because they're at the peak or the pinnacle of their career or their athletics or whatever, right? They didn't just do it on their own. Yeah, some helps. They did something that helps them. Yeah. That's what you're going to need to do. And, no matter if sometimes you fall behind a little bit, kind of like I did with even making anything, I couldn't get my mind right, man. I started thinking about some shit and thinking about people, and, man, I had a tough time, And I said to myself, now I'm done. Now I'm done with that sad pity shit on myself. All right, cool, yep. You dealt with it. You recognize the behaviors. It's time to get after it. It's time to get up, keep your steady pressure, and just, man, keep on it. Ain't nobody else going to get it for you but you. Ain't nobody else going to help you but you. You might think that everybody else, they going to. I mean, they might be around, but don't rely on that, man, because I'm going to tell you right now, if you rely on somebody, you truly rely on them, but you're not true to yourself, and they bounce, boy, you in for hurting. So stay up.